welcome to Indian Union News. Our guest today is Dr. Sailaja Reddy, MD. She is the founder of RootHealthMD. Her perspective on treating patients and medicine is very unique. She is going to speak at the upcoming Health Expo on August 18th at Burlington Marriott. She has spoken at the Health Expo in the past, a very popular speaker and well-sought speaker, I must say. Today we are going to talk to her and see if she can give us a sneak view of what she is going to present on Sunday at the Health Expo. Salja, welcome to our studio.
Thank you so much for.
And again, we are looking forward to hearing you and seeing your presentation at the Health Expo.
Excellent. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Sure. And your perspective on treatment, your perspective on health and food and gut is very unique. Mm-hmm. And we are very excited to host you there.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. So, the first question I'm going to ask you is if you can just give us a quick glimpse into what you are going to talk there.
Okay, sure. Okay. In my perspective, what we do is functional medicine. We look at the underlying root causes rather than just giving the medication. So most of the chronic...
So that is where
that's
the name comes.
Where the name came.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So most of the chronic diseases that we see nowadays, there's so many autoimmune conditions, cancer and chronic conditions, they all originate in the gut, because if your gut has dysbiosis, means imbalance in the bacteria and the digestion is not proper, you develop leaky gut. So when you have leaky gut, your immune system goes haywire. There's a lot of toxins get to your immune system. So that's what I'm going to explain in the expo. Because of the time constraints here, I'll give you the gist of what I'm going to do, because we look at the underlying root causes rather than treating the condition. We have to treat the underlying root cause, not the condition. Just like if you look at the tree, if there's a problem with a leaf or a flower, if you just trim the leaf, that's of no use, right? The next leaf is going to be the same. But if you look at the root and feed that root, then you're fixing the whole tree.
You know, myself being a gardener, it makes so much sense. I do it every day. You know, it makes so much sense. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, that's why I gave this name RootHealthMD, because it's just like this. Our body has innate healing capacity. You just have to unblock those things that are blocking and not making you heal well.
What is the leaky gut?
Leaky gut is a condition where your cells are not intact in your gut lining. So we have just a single cell lining in the gut, especially the small intestine, where we absorb a lot of nutrients, almost all the nutrients. So this gut lining has to be intact. I'll just demonstrate with my hand here. So the cells have to be intact like this. If there's a space in between the cells, that's called the leaky gut. Whatever you eat, the nutrients, they're supposed to go through the cell. So behind the cell, there is an immune system, and the immune system will sense if all this bad bacteria and the poop of the bacteria, basically we call it LPS, that is the highest inflammatory substance known. So if the gut is not intact, your immune system is going to sense that inflammation. So you always have to keep this gut intact. We do have like a very simple test we do to see whether you have leaky gut or not. That is actually the initial test we do for the clients who come to us.
And also we have read some literature about a close connection between gut and the brain.
Yes, there is a strong connection between our brain and the gut. The gut and brain constantly communicate. So actually the gut is also called second brain. It communicates through different ways. The most important one is called the vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is a nerve, when you stimulate it, you actually relax and it makes you feel so calm and cool. And other ways also are there, like hormones and neurotransmitters. Through many different ways, the gut communicates with the brain. In our practice, we see many clients who come to see me for the gut problems, like they have the bloating and things like that, but they don't even address that they have other issues like, mental health issues like anxiety, depression. And surprisingly, when they heal the gut, they don't need to take these medications anymore. They will be super thrilled to see that. Actually, there were so many testimonials as well, which I'm going to share more on the Health Expo.
So how one can take care of the gut? What are some of the basic things one can do?
So we'll explain it all there, but here I'll just give you the gist of what you can do. As we all tend to think, the diet, yes, it plays a role, but there's many more things that you can do beyond the diet. Yes, of course, when I'll explain you what I recommend in the diet. You have to, first of all, eat the real food. So nowadays, very few people are eating the real food. Whatever you find it in the on the shelves is not the real food. And so you have to avoid the processed and ultra processed food. And there's one simple thing you can ask yourself is like anytime you take the food, ask whether your great grandmother ate that food. If the answer is no, I would not eat it. So that's, I know it's difficult nowadays, but avoid the sugary foods and starchy vegetables. I mean, you can have it, but a little bit of that. And eat more of the plant-based diet. And of course, in certain circumstances, you're going to need animal-based protein as well, but you want to include as many plant-based proteins as possible, and because it contains even though it contains anti-nutrients, the positive effects like from the antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and so many other good things in the plant-based diet like fiber. All these things you don't find in the animal-based protein. Even though it is a complete protein, there are some benefits to that too. But you have to include a lot of plants in your diet.
How the mental health can be so impacted by the gut?
So basically, our feel-good hormone, which is serotonin, believe it or not, most of the serotonin that you have in your body is secreted in the gut. The gut plays a huge role in terms of the neurotransmitters, the feel-good hormones. So there are some people who are like so depressed, and obviously I tell them to go to the mental health provider. Right after we do the gut cleansing protocol, it won't even take that long to see the positive effects because you're improving your neurotransmitters, and you're actually stopping all the bad things like chemicals and bacterial inflammation producing things from going inside when you heal the gut. So when you have mental health issues like depression, anxiety, it is a neuroinflammation. So there is inflammation in your brain. There's so many ways you're going to heal your brain and produce more neurotransmitters, the positive feel-good hormones when you heal the gut.
Salja, you also do some of your own video productions to educate your patients. Tell us about that.
Now actually I'm doing healing habits. It's a 20 video series. So we have a webinar that's coming. So whoever goes into the webinar, they will learn how to sign up for this 20 video series. It's a healing habits. They can learn. It is basically what I do personally. I just wanted everyone to learn about it. And I recently published 2 e-books. One book is on gut healing, like how you repair your gut and stuff. And the second book is a recipe book. It has got 50 recipes, gut healing recipes. Very easy to make, and it's not only for the gut, it's good for.
And what is the book? That book is called?
The 50 gut healing recipes.
Okay.
And the second book is called a Simplified Gut Healing. So these 2 books
and they are available on Amazon and all.
No, I will show the clients how to get them when they do the webinar, when they see my webinar.
Perfect. Okay, good, excellent. Now, before I let you go, I have some. Let's have some fun.
Oh, yeah,
and
sure.
have some fireside chat.
No
questions on.
Yeah.
You see, unprepared. So I'm not prepared. You are not prepared. But we'll have fun. Okay.
I hope you'll ask me easy questions.
I don't know. I don't know what question I have to ask, but it's whatever comes to my head. Okay. So the first question is, when you think about gut, what the first thing comes to your mind?
Heal. Repair.
The repair. What about food, when you think about food?
No sugar.
What about really healthy, exciting food good for the gut?
There are 2 different foods. Do I have to give them one word?
Yeah, no, you can explain, sure.
It's like a medicinal type of food and just a usual food that we eat. If you think about a medicinal food like aloe drinks, and those are good for you. And even the cabbage has a lot of gut healing properties, cabbage juice.
Regular food?
It's not only more than what you give to the gut, what you avoid also matters. You have to avoid inflammation giving food such as gluten, dairy, sugars, all these things are inflammation.
So now on dairy, it has been very common. Everybody has been using dairy, milk, yogurt and all this stuff. And why you say that avoid dairy?
Because with my experience, I have seen like 99% of the people who come to me, they have a lot of inflammation. We run the test. Gluten and dairy are on the top list to give the information.
Okay.
So in
Now,
general, if somebody comes and they can't afford the testing, we just give a general advice like, avoid these top inflammatory foods while you're doing our protocols.
Okay. Dosa?
I know last time you asked me about samosas.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Dosa, again, I know it is a fermented food, but it has got a lot of sugar, a lot of starch in it. Like we put so much rice, and when I make dosa, it's 1:3 ratio. So the amount of lentil is not as much.
Now, see, I was smiling because I have forgotten your answer about samosa. So let's talk about that again.
I know last time I was laughing about your question. Samosa, it's I personally don't eat samosas for several reasons. Number one, I know you're not going to like it.
My favorite food is samosa.
I know that.
Yes.
That's because samosas is, of course, the gluten. The flour that you wrap the samosas is wheat flour. I mean, you can still use the alternative flours, non-gluten flours, but it is a deep fried food. Anytime you deep fry any food, we are using inflammatory oils, such as seed oils, we call it. So I would not encourage eating anything with the seed oils because there's so many reasons which I explained it in several videos.
And idli?
Idli is probably better than dosa because idli doesn't have that much rice and it is fermented and it is steamed. It's not deep fried and we don't need to use that much oil. I would eat idlis, but compared to eating some vegetable or fruit, probably that would be my priority than eating idlis.
And roti?
Roti, because of gluten, I don't eat it, but I make gluten-free rotis at home. But I'm trying to tell you is like we need to eat live food. Live food is like the food that has life in it. Like, sprouts, green leaves and things like that, they have life in it. If you eat the food such as dosa, samosas, there's no life in that food.
So I have to ask you about one more food which is very common, rice.
I used to love rice. I still love it. I've cut down a lot. I don't eat more than a couple of tablespoons in my food because it's full of starch.
Now, you are in a deep forest and there is only one thing you can find in that forest. You cannot cook an hour. What you will hope to find in that forest?
Berries.
Berries.
Yeah.
So berries are very healthy.
Berries and green leaves.
Green leaves.
We can survive in the forest very healthy.
Sure. Excellent. Salja, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
And it was fun and looking forward to seeing you at the Health Expo.
Thank you so much. Yes, I have a lot of information to share there.
Excellent. Sure. We'll see you there. Thank you.